Welcome to our first video around attracting your skilled trades workforce. Thanks so much for joining me again today, Mike. I really appreciate it. We know that attracting the right talent can be challenging. I'm wondering if you could tell us what you've done to attract your skilled workforce.
Sure. So we already know that 80% or so of jobs are never posted. It's always word of mouth or personal connections, and we've been very successful at that. But beyond that, our next way of getting new people into the trades is through the high school co-op and OYAP programs. And we've had some really good success with that.
So Mike, you've mentioned co-op and OYAP programs. How did you first get connected to folks like OYAP and other pipelines for talent? And how has being connected to them helped your business?
First of all, being connected with OYAP, a fellow I went to apprentice school years before had gone back to school and become a high school teacher. He called me up one Christmas and said he had this really good kid in his shop class who was looking for a co-op placement. And so we took on that kid, and he's actually worked for me for 14 years and then bought my business. So long-term success with that first kid. So based on that, we went back to the high schools, the various high schools in our area, and I contacted other OYAP teachers and asked them to send us their best kids.
So Mike, did being an apprenticeship supporting employer help you attract talent for your business?
It did. And after we had our first OYAP student, and we had a connection with the school, we had kids come to us naturally through that. But also we became known as an employer that would cultivate young kids wanting to get into the trade. So we had, just from word of mouth even, other kids approach us. And we were actually successful in retaining some of those in the business. We had problems with ratios. There was only so many we could take on, and not always was it a perfect fit. Like, not everyone is meant to be a carpenter. So I was okay with handing out references and things like that. We always wanted to have someone come out and basically do a test drive with us first, just to see if it was a good fit with them, a good fit with us, and if they were really talented enough to work in the trades. So based on that test drive, we were happy to help them find a spot somewhere in the trades.
Did you find that supporting apprentices through their leveled schooling and through to completion in their certification of qualification, did that help your business? And if so, how?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing we never wanted to do was to have two first-year apprentices at the same time. We wanted to create a bit of a circular flow of new talent coming into the business. So a third or fourth year apprentice or someone who had just gotten their CFQ, they would be more responsible on the job site in terms of doing the actual work, but also overseeing that first year apprentice. And that first year apprentice, when they got to third, fourth year or their own CFQ, they would then become more responsible as well. And so what that allowed us to do is to create a consistent quality of work. I wasn't necessarily needed to be there all day, every day. The brand of our business and the quality of our work was consistent, and that just led to a lot more success. I always said there's a million ways to lose money on a job. The only way to make money on a job is to get it right the first time. And the key to that, we found, was that consistent quality of work, everyone knowing what to do and how to do it.
This is why it's important to build relationships with support organizations. Once they know, they will send talent your way. These include folks like Employment Ontario job developers, group sponsors, high school and post-secondary tech education teachers, instructors, and guidance counselors, settlement services, small business support centers, and many more. I think the importance of word of mouth and personal connection also underscores the necessity for employers of using inclusive hiring practices and offering accommodations. Potential candidates, current and former employees, will often share their experiences about employers. Inclusive and barrier-free hiring practices can elevate an employer in the eyes of the community and the talent pool they're looking to pull from. We have many resources in the Hub with easy-to-implement strategies for providing accommodations, inclusive hiring, and connecting to support organizations to create a pipeline of talent for your business.